Totally dependable, plumbing and electrical. 0800 get Laser.
Celebrating 25 years of Laser, I'm Kyle, the GM of Laser Group, and this is Laser Across the Network, where legacy meets leadership.
It is hard, and it took me a long time because we did become fully immersed in that business, and it was everything. It was 100%. It was we had no downtime, and for me, it really took a bit of a telling off from Steve and Vicky and Nelson and Chris and Carol in Christchurch. They sort of sat me down and sort of told me a few home truths, and that was a bit of a turning point, and it was stuff I didn't really want to hear, but I actually needed to hear.
Geoff and Brenda, Laser Electrical and Plumbing Napier, thanks for joining us. Now, today I'd love to learn more about your journey in terms of buying into an existing business and attaching what we still don't see particularly often in terms of a plumbing and electrical business under one roof is Laser Plumbing and Electrical. Brenda, could you introduce yourself, please? And then, Geoff, I'll get you to do the same.
I'm Brenda, and I'm also known as the accountant. They joke at work, that's me. We've got a real accountant, but in the office, I'm just here to back everyone up, but actually I rule the roost, so yeah. Anyway, this is Geoff.
She does rule the roost.
I see that too, by the way.
Paul and I, we learnt very early on to do as we're told, when we are told. I'm Geoff. I look after the plumbing side of the business mainly. I'm also the face of the business, I suppose, a GM type role.
And then you mentioned Paul before, so let's give a quick intro to Paul just to give context for how you guys fit into Laser Plumbing Electrical Napier.
So Paul Menina is he's our business partner. He is the electrical side of our business. Paul is a founding member of Laser, which is pretty cool.
25 years this year for him.
He will be.
Really cool having him involved in our business. His knowledge, as we'll talk about, and business skills have been really good
Next level for us.
Yeah, really helpful for me. I haven't that long been off the tools, so I need all the help and guidance I can get.
We're talking about how you guys have bought into a business and you do see different responsibilities across people in business, and I think you guys have got a great story to tell in that. Give us the journey that you guys have taken to get to Laser Plumbing Electrical Napier and where you are now.
It has, yeah. Geoff started with Paul in late 2019, and then in 2020, unfortunately, there was a couple of series of bad things happened. Paul lost a business partner with cancer very, very quickly, and then had a serious motorbike accident on the way to conference, and that left Geoff at the helm in Christchurch with Paul in hospital in Auckland. Paul came out of hospital, had a long recovery. In January the following year, sort of said to us, I'm thinking about selling the business, and would you like to come into business and buy it? Geoff sort of came home and we had a round the table discussion with the family. We all talked about it and came up with a plan, spoke to Paul, had a coffee. The three of us came up with, actually, we all want to be in business together.
I probably have my own opinions to this answer, Geoff, but why did Paul, in your opinion, approach you to say, hey, I need a business partner, I want you to buy in?
It almost wasn't so much as I need a business partner. I think if we had said, yep, we'll take the lot, he was quite keen to walk away. We wanted to be plumbing and electrical. We wanted to be a little bit different from everyone else. And I think we are, to be fair.
Paul would say that he already had Geoff, and so he let Geoff bring myself into the business because I brought a skill set that neither had. They didn't have to employ someone to do what I do. I would be there. I would look after, as he calls it, his baby. That's the three: plumbing, electrical, and then the office side of things.
When you talk about those complementary skills, but the hard graft that's gone to get to where it is today, how do you describe those things?
It is hard, and it took me a long time because we did become fully immersed in that business, and it was everything. It was 100%. It was we had no downtime, and for me, it really took a bit of a telling off from Steve and Vicky and Nelson and Chris and Carol in Christchurch. They sort of sat me down and sort of told me a few home truths, and that was a bit of a turning point, and it was stuff I didn't really want to hear, but I actually needed to hear.
Now, to give context, Stephen, Vicky, Laser Plumbing Nelson, Chris and Carol, Laser Plumbing Christchurch East, again, very successful Laser members, but what were the home truths and why did they feel compelled to tell you?
We're in a performance group with them. You join these groups and you run a program for about 2 years, I think, 18 months. There's sort of stages of a bit of a roadmap that you move through, business plans, etc., etc. We've come out the other side of that with a group of 6 other lasers, and we've continued that on for at least a year extra now, if not a year and a half, and we're now all very, very good friends. The support there is, you couldn't buy it. Steve and Chris had a bit of a conversation with Geoff, and
I was pretty unfit. I was struggling. I was pretty stressed out. He just said, mate, if you don't sort your shit out, you're not going to get through. You're not going to last. You need to change. You need to start taking some time for you. Otherwise, you're not going to be there for the team when they need you.
Down to even you need to spend time with your grandson. You've got to put time aside for that. He's your instant
stress
release. Geoff, that was it. He put it into his diary, and for about a year, 9 months to a year, Geoff picks up the grandy and spends the afternoon with him, and they do cool little things together.
Go and have an adventure. And that was the start of it for me. Just get out and have an adventure and know that we have put the work in, we have put the time in, and we've got good people that have got our backs.
Yep. That balance gets out of whack, and what I'm really interested in, and I know people listening will go, 2020 you bought in, it's 2025, you've got the freedom to come away, Paul's got the freedom to go on holiday with Martha for a long period of time, but what's gone on in that intervening period? Because you've not stepped into a wormhole at this end and come out the other end and gone, oh shit, it's really good.
No. We're lucky enough to have that time to actually sit back and go, okay, we've been in business for a bit now. We think this is what we'd like to get to, but we need to be able to do this. And we were able to sit back and look at it, come up with a plan. Our BPM at the time was Sandy. She was able to have a look and help out with things if we needed. We've called Kyle before, haven't we, Kyle?
Bat phone.
The bat phone. And yes, so we were able to sit back at that point. So it was about a year, 18 months later, wasn't it? And we actually had a bit of a rejig around everywhere and realised that we needed cover across a lot of varying parts of the business. And so we started with building that up. If anyone's away, there's always someone else that can pick up that work and do it. One person doesn't only do one thing.
There's the contingency that you talked about and the systems and the need, whether it's through Sandy or we joke about the bat phone or other people that you can call to go help us identify the solution to this. Your, dare I call it a corporate background, Brenda, is that assisted in that? Because you guys, again, bring very complementary skills to what you do.
I'm really lucky that I still work 3 days a week in my accounting business. I've got the numbers know-how. Paul's got the business know-how. I can look at a set of books and tell you what's wrong, what's right, what needs to change. Paul then takes that and helps us with the change. And Geoff is getting well better at reading the numbers, and when he's quoting, he's bringing that knowledge into profit percentages, into margins, into all the rest of it, and it's helped him come off the tools and into the office.
Now, we started the story with a little bit of a come to Jesus moment from some of your mates, right? As you rightly note, after some years in a performance group. I'm going to ask a really tough question of you, actually, Geoff. Your nickname is Grumpy. I've never seen it, but you will have gone through one hell of a leadership change yourself, right? How have you adjusted?
It's been really hard, to be fair. At the beginning, I think I had no idea on how hard it really was. Lots and lots of sleepless nights. I've learnt sort of, don't worry so much about the $20 jobs, but the $200 jobs you need to, so it's
above the line, below the line.
Yep, above the line, below the line. Do you want to be a victim? Do you want to be the victor? Rather than just sort of yelling and screaming and throwing my tools around and The learning curve has been so steep. And it's still every day. It's every single day I pick up something new. But it's good fun. You know, I certainly enjoy it. And as you said earlier, Kyle, I'm not sure I could go back now.
Could you have 4 years ago when it was tough as?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, 18 months and I could have gone, bugger this, I'm out, man.
So if you
I'm checking
were giving advice to someone now from standing on this soapbox, for example, is it stick it out? Is
Yep.
it
Yes.
Ride it out.
Yep.
It is hard and it is soul destroying and it knocks the shit out of your confidence. Everything you thought you know is wrong, but it's bloody rewarding too. You know, it really is rewarding. It's really cool.
Surround yourself with
good people.
With good people that have the same values
Yep.
as you. It comes down to your values. You can't be in business with someone who
Has a completely different
completely
set of morals
different
as
set
you.
of morals, that lives paycheck to paycheck. You've got to be in business with someone that puts the family first, the business, the staff first, before themselves.
Now, you've said something I disagree with. Who has the same values as you, or is it who shares the values of the business?
A bit of both, I think.
both.
Yeah, like Paul and I are way different. We're culturally, we're quite different. We're in way different stages on our journey, but our moral compass very much points in the same direction. And that's kind of how we built our relationship.
We did. When we first bought the business, our accountant, Sam, said he wanted to do a planning day with Paul and Geoff. And part of that day was to come up with our vision. Is that what it's called these days? And we sat long and hard. We thought about it long and hard. We said we wanted to grow our people. This was the order: our people, our business, but in a way that it helps our family, communities, customers, and each other. And that is the order of it. And it's on the wall. We get all of our staff on their induction. We show them it. We talk to them about it. We say we live into this, and we ask them to sign a piece of paper to say that they'll live into it too. And we hold ourselves to that in any decision we make.
How did your team, you talk about new staff, new team, signing to that, but how did old team adjust to it? A lot of people go, we've got to have a mission, we've got to have vision, we've got to have values, we've got to have culture. A little bit buzzwordy, and tradespeople can feel uncomfortable selling that into their team. How'd you do it?
We did lose a number of trade staff, the whole way we did things.
Was that good or bad?
At the
felt
time,
bad.
it was bad. I'd take those things very personally.
In retrospect?
Yeah, the ones that left were worth getting rid of,
Yep.
to be fair. And a number of them we were sort of lining up possibly to have that conversation anyway.
In saying that, we've had three that had come back.
And came back.
Came back. They didn't think what we were doing was right, and they actually came back and said, no, you're doing it right. Can we come back? Is my van still available? Of course it is. Come back.
There's a pat on the back.
One
It
was
is.
3 weeks. Is my van still at the workshop? Yes. I might come back on Monday, eh? I said, well, look, let's just give it a month of your new. If you still feel that way in 4 weeks, you give me a ring. And he did, didn't he? He rung back and
To the
said,
day,
no.
probably.
He said, this isn't for me.
Well done.
And he still works for us today.
He still does. And they're great staff. Like I couldn't ask for anyone better.
Now, you've talked a lot about Paul. You know, I heard Darren's name come up. I've heard Paul and Martha's name come up. You've talked about the BPMs. You've talked about your performance group. What I've seen you guys doing, despite how busy you've been over the last 4 years, you've still jumped both feet into things like conference and performance groups. And
Geoff did the Laser Leadership
Yep.
program. Paul thought that would be good for Geoff to learn this sort of different things.
yeah, so are there other places that you've identified that Laser's been a real help?
For me, I keep going on about the people, and it is the people that's really important to me.
Within that, you've got key staff that we know. That's who we contact. There's a direct line of
The BPMs.
which is really, really handy.
Neil, we find really good.
Unfortunately, Sandy left to follow on to greener pastures. We thought we'd be left in the dark, but
Ron's
luckily,
great too, you know.
yeah, just the number of people that we know are able to help us.
The other thing you've gone, how do we define success? And maybe the answer to that question is, having bought into an existing business and smashed together a couple of brands and done all of this, you can sit here quite comfortably going, we know our team's got us, but it's taken quite a long way to get there. Is there other ways that you guys are measuring success for yourselves at the moment?
I mean, of course, there's those financial markers that we look at.
We have a budget. We set a budget yearly. We track it monthly. We revise it monthly after things like cyclones, weather events, downturns. We look at all of that. We're constantly looking at that. I think the good thing is I'm constantly looking at that, so Paul and Geoff can actually do what they should do, stick to their knitting.
Different question. When Chris and Carol approached you and Steve and Vicky approached you and said, you need to change something, else you're going to burn out or whatever, it'd probably be pretty easy to go, nah, get stuffed. I don't need your opinions. What made that go in the air?
I sat there and thought, yeah, okay, and was sort of taken back a little bit, to be fair. But when it's just quietly, now I'm watching you and you need to do this and we're going to meet again in 3 months and I will be checking up on you. And it wasn't till sort of sitting on the plane on the way home that I thought other people are starting to notice that I'm sliding down that hill's getting steeper and steeper, and if I don't react now, I am not going to be able to crawl out of this hole. And having a good look at myself and thinking, are you really where you need to be? And to be honest, I wasn't. I was too unfit. I was probably stressed out. Now, we joke about the grumpy thing. Yes, I am a grumpy bastard. And maybe my grumpiness was becoming more and more. And it's not really who I am, to be fair.
And we're always a team. We are a team in our family. It was how we're going to do it together. We used to go to the gym together, and then Geoff got too busy. So we decided that we'd start with what goes in the mouth. That might change a lot because the takeaways for lunch and all the rest of it aren't good. As soon as you start to eat clean, you feel clean, don't you? That led into then actually walking, and then we have brought fitness into it. You'd think that bringing in fitness, having to put time aside for actually cooking, where am I going to find that time? But actually it's created more time.
Yeah,
We've found a lot more time. Paul said, as soon as we said it, he said, great, we're on board, it's a competition. And so he started as well.
So between the
three of us, we were all accountable to each other. And it's actually how we probably operate every day.
It's funny how you say that, because you almost started, Brenda, with the story about how Paul might have approached you guys and then you sat down at the family table, and we've finished almost with food and how you found more time, but you've probably found time through sitting down and eating together and discussing these things and then going, shit, we've got this time, we can go for a walk and we can make a start. It's really evident for me the story's beyond buying a business and making money. It's supporting a community, it's speaking to the values, it's looking for help. But the way blokes can go, oh, stuff you, I don't need your opinion. But you obviously sit and think about things and take action on them. And I think, for me, you guys joining this podcast has been bloody good, but not for the reasons that I expected. And so I just want to say thanks. Your contribution's been fantastic.
And hopefully the 25 years that have just been turn into 25 or 50 more for us and our children and their children, because that's what we're going to do with it. It's a we've been handed a family, and we're going to continue that family on.
If you've enjoyed the episode, subscribe, like and follow where you get all your podcasts. Give us a review and find us at lasergroup.co.nz. And here's to another 25 years.
0800 get laser.